Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today, we finally come to the conclusion of the Champions of Kamigawa set. And now this was a long set to talk about. Before we get into that, however, as always, just a reminder of how these set reviews work. This is just a visual representation of every single individual card on the screen here. I have already made a full in-depth video talking about what the commander is, what it does, what its rules are, if there are any rules for that commander, a card that synergizes with that commander, and then I talk about 3 different deck ideas that you can build around, with then some closing thoughts at the end. So I've done that for each of these videos. So this is not a deep dive of any of the cards on the screen here. This is just a visual representation of the set as a whole. And as I've tried to explain in each video, because in each video I don't necessarily talk about it explicitly, but the way that I do my tier lists, as the second note that I want to talk about for this video, the way that I do my tier lists is not based on power level. It is based on the number of deck ideas that exist or can exist for this commander. So a lot of that influence and information comes from EDH Rec. A tiny bit of that comes from my own personal collection, and 9 times out of 10 my personal deck will be something that you can find on EDH Rec. And then lastly, a small little bonus at the end is any other deck ideas that I can either think of or come up with that seem out of the box, not ordinary to the commander, definitely outside the comfort zone of the commander, or just overall very janky. So bringing all those things together gives me the final score of all these commanders. And then I put them on here after I review them, and I assemble this tier list for you guys so that you can see visually what we've talked about for the last, couple videos. There's a lot of commanders in this video. But really cool stuff. Champions of Kamigawa had a lot of popular commanders and powerful commanders, mind you. And a power does play into popularity as well as deck ideas. I'm looking here. Oh, okay. I was just making sure that I had my last 2 cards added on here. But as you can see, it looks a little messy. And that is because Champions of Kamigawa had so many S-tier cards. This is the complete opposite of what we ran into at the very beginning of this series with the Legends set, where like tons of stuff were F tier because they just were not that popular to build around. This is the complete opposite. Everything was super popular in the set. Very few cards. The Myojin cycle, minus like 2 of them, I think, ended up in lower ranks. Some cards that really just had some very specific focuses on things ended up there. And then everything else was just super popular or super unique and like did super cool things that like could interact outside of the normal parameters of deck building. And it was just a really cool set to talk about. A brief quick overview. You can see here on the right side of the screen behind my head, I have each of the numbers that indicate how I rank it all. So starting at 5 or less gives it F tier, all the way up to 10 plus different deck ideas for S tier. At the very bottom, any vanilla creatures will go down in its own separate tier because vanilla is not restricted by anything except for color. However, it does not point you in any general direction. So vanilla gets its own tier. As we get farther and farther into Magic's history and catching up to present day Magic, we are going to have a lot less vanilla commanders, unfortunately. But really cool set. This will be where I bring to the end of this video, because again, this is just a visual representation of the entire set as a whole. And next we're getting into the Unhinged set, which is just crazy and sporadic. But when we come back to main sets, we're getting into the Betrayers of Kamigawa. And so far, I'm a little scared because I'm getting a lot of S tier commanders from that set. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be good. I'm excited to keep making these videos for you guys, and I really appreciate all of your support. And I'm thankful to you all for being able to watch these videos and be a part of this journey with me. So thanks again. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!